took my shirt off and, you know, like, and they're like, just say something. It's like, wow, this is a weird audition. He was like, do you like horses? I was like, yeah, I like horses. And they were like, thank you, that's great. You can leave. Put your shirt back on.
Fabulous having you here.
It's very
You
nice
look
to be here.
really dashing.
Thank you.
People come into young Hollywood casual, they come in dressed up. I think this is the best dressed male we've ever had in the studio.
Well, I'm happy to take that position.
This is a lot more comfortable, obviously, than your RoboCop journey.
Very much more so.
I know you've talked a lot about it.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
uncomfortable it was. The thing that I take away from it is that you didn't wear anything underneath the suit.
No, I did have a unitard.
You're
It's,
ruining the fantasy.
Yeah, but it you know, it had an opening. Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, yes, I am.
Wow.
Because, you know, I have to. It takes like 45 minutes to take off the suit.
To go to the bathroom.
And if
So
I
were
need
you
to go to the bathroom,
dehydrated for the whole film?
I was sweating like a pig. And you know, the first week of shooting, I lost like 20 pounds.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was.
Really, literally 20 pounds?
It was like 17 pounds.
I've read that you were a huge fan of the franchise when you were a kid.
Yeah, I was.
And that almost might give you some trepidation about sort of jumping into the film as an adult.
Yeah.
And you've seen it something like 25 times.
Yeah, something like that. You're
As a
well
kid.
researched.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me props.
No, actually, when they first reached out to me, I think it was my agent who told me that there was this RoboCop remake in the makings, and I actually said that I don't think that that's a good fit for me. I don't think I want to pursue it.
Because it had already been done?
I was a big fan of the original, and
Yeah.
I'd seen a lot of remakes being made that I feel like didn't really have an idea of why you should remake it. It was sort of just a way of exploiting an existing fan base. And
Right.
and then they told me that it was Jose Padilla that was going to direct this film, and that completely changed everything for me because I'd seen all of his films, and he's an exceptional filmmaker that always has, you know, a very strong idea behind his films. They always have a political and a social strong point of view, and so I knew if a guy like that was going to take RoboCop remake,
It wasn't going to be the sort of...
No, it was going to be something real, and then I met him, and he told me the whole story that he wanted to tell, using the concept of RoboCop, and you know, I thought it was brilliant, and it made all the sense in the world to make this film, and so then I really pursued it.
We need to give Americans a product they can love, a figure they can rally behind.
We can't put a machine on the street.
Forget machine. They want a product with a conscience, something that knows what it feels like to be human.
Give your mom a kiss.
Hi, baby.
Too slow, boy. We're gonna put a man inside a machine.
Well, I saw the film last night, and I know in an interview you talked about your favorite scene being the scene where you first saw yourself
Yeah.
sort of exposed and
Yeah.
what had become of your body. And that was actually my favorite scene in the film, too.
Cool. Yeah, it's quite horrifying, huh?
It is horrifying to
Yeah.
think about, you know, they didn't have to take all your man parts away. I mean, they could have left
I mean,
a
they
few.
could have left a little bit. Maybe that's the sequel, you know.
for your wife,
I've been
Abby
I've been
Cornish.
talking to Gary Oldman about that, and you know, he's been giving me a little heads up that if it is a sequel, he'll give me that
He'll
vital
give you
part.
that
Yeah.
vital part
Yeah.
back. You know, I think a lot of women can relate to being with a man that feels half man, half robot. But I think after seeing the film, the moral of the story is you cannot change a man. You can change his brain. Gary
Yeah.
Oldman tries to change your brain, and still the essence of the human being comes forward. Gary Oldman, I know, talked about you, and he called you a diamond. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I heard he said that. Yeah.
That's a nice gemstone to be compared to.
That is a nice gemstone, and especially coming from the Grand Master.
The Grand Master
Yeah.
himself. I mean, his performance in this film, along with yours, was pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's Gary. He's
Yeah.
always incredible, and you know, it was such a fantastic experience to get to work so intimately with him, and also a lot of the more emotionally demanding scenes I had
Yeah.
with Gary, and the whole relationship between Dr. Norton and Alex, or RoboCop. I mean, it starts out as sort of a Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, and then it evolves into this father and son relationship almost. So it was a lot of fun.
But I think you talked about earlier auditions where you came to LA, and it's like people want to sort of say, can you play this quirky guy or typecast?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of, I mean, that's what I found the most difficult when the material is not so good, and but you can sort of understand, oh, okay, I see, that's the charming computer nerd that is a little geeky, but he's actually capable. And
is that what you tended to get sent out on, or?
Well, it was just one of. I also got sent out for Conan. I was like, really? Have you seen me? I weigh 185 pounds. Like that's. And
they're like, you can bulk up for the role.
Yeah, and I came into the audition, and there's like 3 guys in suits. It's like, you're Joel Kinnaman? I was like, yeah, they're waiting for you. I was like, okay. And then I run in, and there's like 2 other guys in suits behind a camera, and they're like, you're finally here, that's great. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. They're like, okay, we'll take your shirt off. I was like, what? You want me to take my shirt off? And they're like, yeah, take your shirt off. I was like, took my shirt off, and like, and they're like, okay, so, tell me about yourself. I was like, what? Like, without my shirt? Yeah, just say something. It's like, wow, this is a weird audition. He was like, do you like horses? I was like, yeah, I like horses. And they were like, thank you, that's great. You can leave. Put your shirt back on. I was like, put my shirt back on. I felt so violated.
So you were not the barbarian in that.
I mean,
so you can relate to women feeling objectified in auditions.
For sure, yeah, hell yeah.
It's usually the other way around, but
And I could have told them right away that Conan, I don't think that's gonna be me, but.
I know this film was one of the, like, an iconic film, sort of, when you were a kid. What other sort of things were iconic to you growing up?
Well, I mean, I was a big fan of all of Verhoeven's films, with Total Recall and Starship Troopers, but then, of course, Terminator and...
I feel like you could do that good Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I don't
wish
know
I
why,
could,
that
but
just came.
I can't. That's the best I got. Get down.
That was actually pretty good.
That's pretty.
Maybe they should have had you audition
nice.
for that too, somewhere in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So growing up in Sweden, what do you think? I know you have an American father.
Yeah.
What would be like a great night out, like just for sort of cultural differences, a great night out in Sweden for you?
I mean, we Swedes, especially people from Stockholm, they live in bars. Like that's our living room.
This sounds fantastic already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody goes out all the time. It's more like New York in that sense. Everybody's got kind of small apartments, so everybody meets out and drinks, and then it's, the bars have these 3 different, like some bars close at 1, and then you have to get. It's a little harder to get a license to close at 3, and then some have 5.
You know this very well.
Yeah, I do. And then if it's a bad night, then you've ended up like walking home like 5:30 in the morning.
So if their sun is not
well,
out
in the
yet.
summertime, that's the beauty of Sweden. The sunrise is around 3:30, so you'll like walk home, and many nights when you're partying in the summer. Because the water in Stockholm is very clean, and it's built on 7 islands. So, when you'd walk home from a night out, then everybody would go swimming in the city, and you dive off from the steps of City Hall that go into the water.
You just can't stop taking your shirt off, can you?
Yeah, no, I know.
No matter what you do.
One of them things.
This was such a pleasure. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Can we go to Sweden now?
Let's go.
RoboCop, check it out.
Check it out.
Really good. And I didn't even ask you to do the robot. Almost did.
You gotta pay me for that.